Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Madam President, it is truly a great privilege to address you today. This annual session of the Assembly of States Parties takes place at a pivotal moment in the Court's history. Over the past year, the Court has faced unprecedented combination of rising caseload, sustained external pressures, and complex operational challenges. Yet throughout this period, the Court has worked tirelessly to resolve issues proactively, discreetly, and consistently. We have made every effort to act as responsible custodians of the mandate that you have entrusted to us, ensuring that the Court continues to function effectively and continues to deliver and serve the victims who depend on it. In this context, the work that we're undertaking this week is especially meaningful. Our discussions here are a testament to the unity, to the trust, and to the collective resolve that defines this Assembly. The relationship between the Court and you as our states parties is more important today than ever before. The Court has remained focused not only on meeting new challenges, but also on addressing long-standing shortcomings, from workplace culture and internal processes to systems and approaches that require modernization to meet a more complex external environment. So with respect to the 2026 budget, it is important to state clearly that this is not an ordinary time. And therefore, this is not an ordinary budget. It is a budget grounded on the full implementation of the one court principle, guided by responsibility, guided by realism, shaped by reform, and driven by the imperative to serve our mandate, to serve the global justice efficiently, effectively, and sustainably. In preparing this budget, we have approached our responsibilities with the full seriousness that the role of international civil servants demands. We have assessed risks, we have refined practices, and we have challenged ourselves to deliver more with discipline and with foresight. Even as global crises have expanded, the demands placed upon this Court. Allow me to also emphasize that when we submitted our budget proposal for the Court's 2026 budget, our aim was to fully reflect the need to consider the financial realities faced by states parties. And in that spirit, we propose a total budget amounting of 197.5 million euros, which reflects a 1.1% increase over 2025. This limited growth was achieved despite persistent threats, despite inflation, despite increases in the statutory cost adjustments. This budget required difficult internal adjustments. Across the Court, staff have demonstrated dedication, they have demonstrated their professionalism, their resilience, often under intense scrutiny, to ensure that no disruptions affects our judicial proceedings, that no disruptions affects the victim's access to services or the integrity of our field operations. I am deeply grateful for the commitment of our staff. Now, as requested by the ASP, as requested by this Assembly, and consistent with my personal commitment to you as Registrar, the Court has absorbed over 4.2 million euros, including 1.4 million euros in staff and inflationary costs, before requesting any new resources. Every program has been critically reviewed against operational necessity. What we presented is a lean and forward-looking proposal that protects the Court's judicial capacity while maintaining its institutional effectiveness and the sustainability of the Court. And our approach has been guided by a simple principle, which is that the Court must demonstrate its own ability to solve many of its own problems. whether in financial administration, in human resources, in IT security, or in field operations, we have prioritized internal solutions. Of course, to the extent possible, because there are areas that, of course, require and will continue to require state party support. This budget also launches the new ICC strategic plan for 2026 to 2029, and is the first ever unified strategy developed by all organs of the court and the Trust Fund for Victims jointly. It provides a single vision that integrates the long-term strategy, budgeting, and risk managing, ensuring coherence and long-term sustainability for the operations of the court. Now, this strategic alignment also reflects our determination to strengthen a healthy workplace culture. Over the past years, the court has implemented a series of reforms aimed at fostering respect, fostering professionalism, and accountability across the institution. These efforts will continue in 2026, so the court can better serve victims, witnesses, and all those who rely on their work. Operationally, the court anticipates a heavy judicial and reparations workload in 2026. The Office of the Prosecutor continues to conduct complex investigations in an increasing number of situations. The Registrar will maintain field presences in 5 countries. And the Trust Fund for Victims expects to reach around 11,000 victims through its assistance and reparations programs. Through this proposal, the court hopes to demonstrate that it is a responsible steward of public funds by absorbing pressures internally, by prioritizing victims, and by maintaining the readiness to fulfill its judicial mandate. We are determined to uphold your trust by demonstrating that the court not only asks responsibly, but also manages responsibly. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, throughout the budgetary process this year, we have deeply appreciated the constructive engagement with the Committee on Budget and Finance and with its chair, Mr. Zavala. The CBF considered our budget proposal and, after a thorough and constructive engagement, recommended that the Assembly approves a budget increase of 0.7% over the approved level of 2025. Now, the work of the committee is essential. It's essential for the Assembly's ability to discharge its responsibility, guided by trust and guided by accountability. So I thank the chair of the CBF, Mr. Zavala, as well as all the members of the committee for their work. I would also like to thank His Excellency Jorge Carvajal, Ambassador of Chile, for his able leadership throughout the budget facilitation, as well as all of you for your consistent engagement with the court in its effort to present a sustainable, needs-based budget, to advance, as I said before, the implementation of the One Core principle, and to pursue all feasible measures to reduce avoidable costs. Your expectations have been clear, and we have taken them seriously. And the court's proposals reflects our efforts to act on that guidance that we have gotten from you. But our proposal this year is more than numbers and planning. It is a statement. Most importantly, it is a call for trust, an affirmation that we are firmly committed to align our actions with the principles and expectations that you have consistently championed for this organization. We're also deeply aware that each of the contributions made by our states represents an investment in justice, in accountability, and in this Rome Statute system that serves us all. This is why we continue to push ourselves to reform where needed, to improve where possible, and to maintain institutional resilience in the face of pressures that would challenge any organization. And we do this because your investments deserve nothing less. Now, it is my understanding that states parties have already reached an agreement on the court's budget for next year, preliminarily. So this represents a significant milestone in our work, reflecting both the careful deliberation that you have undertaken and the shared commitment to ensuring that the court is adequately resourced to fulfill its mandate. Excellencies, delegates, the current circumstances we face today have demanded difficult decisions and have driven profound institutional transformation. Resilience and adaptability right now are defining principles that lie at the heart of the court's operational strategy. Across the court, we have taken concrete steps to strengthen the long-term sustainability of our operations, while enhancing our capacity to respond swiftly to escalating, fast-moving challenges. Not only those we face today, but those to arise in the future. We have, for instance, started transitioning to a new digital workspace system, made possible thanks to the valuable assistance of our state parties. Transitions of this magnitude are unprecedented in most international organizations, and they bring temporary disruptions. Yet they're essential. They're essential investments in the long-term effectiveness and resilience and our capacity to deliver justice. And this effort extends to all our core administrative functions, financial systems, insurance mechanisms, operational platforms, and more. The full benefits may take time to materialize, but they will decisively strengthen our ability to respond to the current and future challenges. Any transition demands adaptation. Staff must adapt to the new workflows, resources must be reallocated, processes need to be adjusted. Change has friction, but it also has purpose. And while the future remains uncertain, and none of us can predict what lies ahead, we're actively working towards sustainable solutions. And in this regard, I'm especially grateful for the initiatives such as the increase of the notional level of the contingency fund, which will enable us to respond to the unforeseen developments with greater flexibility and speed. Allow me to stress this. We are undertaking these transitions with confidence because of the trust and the steadfast support you, our states parties, continue to provide. I also like to extend my gratitude to those states that have been able to support the court through advance payments of their annual contributions. I can assure you that all these measures give us the courage to embrace change, to tackle every challenge head-on, and to strengthen the court so that it can continue to deliver on its mandate. It is our engagement and commitment that we will allow and safeguard the integrity of this organization. For this support that we have received from you, I can only offer my deepest gratitude. And I say this not only on behalf of the court, but on behalf of every staff member and individual who believes that justice must prevail. Even as we navigate a challenging environment, we remain firmly focused on the court's daily work, on the core responsibilities. Institutional transformation is not only reactive, but also proactive and strategic. We're implementing concrete, meaningful reforms that will equip the court with new tools, with new standards, and with safeguards that are required of a modern, leading international organization. Among these efforts, we have initiated a comprehensive review of our internal justice mechanisms. This was called by the independent expert review recommendations. This initiative directly addresses concerns about trust and fairness, while also making the system more agile and placing accountability which is one of our core values, at the center of every process. In addition, we're working on establishing an ethics function in the court, as also recommended by the IER and the Audit Committee. This function will provide a critical added layer of support and guidance to management decision-making, but also to staff. It will strengthen our commitment to integrity, to accountability, and to a workplace where safety, respect, fairness are at the heart of everything we do. Because as a court of justice, that is what we need to do. This year, we proudly relaunched our core values, reaffirming the values that guide us: accountability, fairness, inclusion, and integrity. Our colleagues are working on trainings and initiatives to bring these values into concrete actions within the court. And finally, as we continue to strengthen the institution internally, we're also seeing tangible results externally. The recent arrest and surrender of Mr. Registrar, thanks to the excellent cooperation of Germany, as well as the arrest and surrender of Mr. Duterte earlier this year. They stand as powerful reminders that accountability under the Rome Statute is not a distant aspiration, but is a living, functioning reality that reinforces the court's relevance and impacts on the world today. I want to thank in this context also our host state, the Netherlands, for their continued support on many aspects of the work of the court, which is often unseen. Now, Excellencies and distinguished delegates, as I have noted, the ICC faces unprecedented and serious challenges. These threats come from multiple directions, all aiming to weaken the court's ability to fulfill the mandate entrusted to it. These sanctions, the threat of sanctions, potentially affecting the entire institution, have become an enduring reality. Yet even in the face of these pressures, the court is preparing for the future with confidence and with determination. And our investment even go far beyond technology and infrastructure. There are investments in the people who make this court what it is, the staff, whose dedication, whose integrity sustain the institution every day. There are investments in a culture that value well-being and share responsibility, because a supported and motivated workforce is the foundation of justice itself. As the President of the Staff Union Council said yesterday in his speech to this assembly, the staff of the court consider it an honor and a privilege to contribute to the mandate of the court. And they stand resolved in their commitment despite the pressures that we face in the implementation of our mandate. It is this human strength combined with operational resilience that allows the court to meet evolving challenges while safeguarding its independence and effectiveness. But even the strongest institutions cannot succeed alone. Your continued guidance and support are indispensable. Allow me here to pay a special tribute to our colleagues from civil society and to express our solidarity with the challenges they are also facing head-on, facing sometimes the same pressures and risks, including sanctions and coercive measures. We know your commitment and the work you do daily, from the field to this very room, guiding us, and supporting the court's mandate. It is my sincere hope that we carve a path for a sustainable work together, and that will serve also and support your efforts. My responsibility is to ensure that the court remains operational and sustainable. I am personally grateful for the confidence you have placed in me as Registrar and in the staff of the Registry and of the court as a whole. That trust reinforces our commitment to act with integrity, with responsibility, and with full transparency in all aspects of our work. Our shared responsibility is to preserve a Rome Statute system that is purposeful and enduring, a system that protects the vulnerable, upholds the law, and ensures that no one is above it. And in this, we must never forget, the court's strength lies not only in its mandate or its processes, but in the people who carry it forward, in their resilience and the culture of mutual support, especially in the challenging moments like this that binds us together. I have full confidence in your continued support, and I know that you share the same unwavering confidence in the court staff, in your nationals, and in the shared principles that guide us. Together, we will ensure that this institution not only survives, but thrives, ensuring accountability and affirming that justice is not optional, but essential. I thank you.